doesn't mean that the planet is only becoming warmer, but it also means that every natural phenomenon that occurs is going to be intensified. I think it all comes down to our misplaced idea of well-being. तो पैसों के चक्कर में हम अपने आप को बर्बाद कर रहे हैं.
And we're not realizing what we're doing actually.
No, we're not. Nature does not create geographical boundaries. Human beings do. Creativity does not cause destruction. It creates growth and evolution. Hi, this is Mirza and you're watching Bollywood Hungama.
Rather than worrying about the environmental hazards that it is combating with, people are talking about other issues which are absolutely, I think, totally uncalled for. I think it is a heritage that we should be celebrating.
Well, it's recognized as the World Heritage Site. It's been an icon for India for saying like years.
Yeah.
I mean it attracts so much tourism to our country. There's so many people who recognize India by the Taj Mahal.
Right.
I mean, you ask anybody overseas what are the three things that draw them to India, one of the first things they will say is the Taj Mahal.
Right. Okay, but do you feel that it's also important that what is happening is that the entire scientific and the rationale behind a lot of things, it is just going for a toss. We're getting so much into in terms of mythical things that it is also seeping into a lot of day-to-day discourse, which is not really right. Like when you say that that it is not you certainly are not feeling cold. It's not more cold than last year. Maybe you've become old, and that is why you're feeling the cold more.
No, climate change is real.
Climate change is real.
Climate
but when you
change
say
is real, and climate change, unfortunately, doesn't mean that the planet is only becoming warmer, but it also means that every natural phenomenon that occurs is going to be intensified.
Right.
So our droughts are more intensified, and as India we're experiencing it. Our forest fires natural fires are going to be intensified, and we are experiencing it in India.
Right.
Our monsoons are going to be intensified as we are experiencing in India.
Absolutely. Earthquakes as well.
Absolutely. And all of this impacts human life. And these are not occurrences that we can neglect, avoid or escape.
Absolutely. Now, one more thing which you spoke about, you're speaking at Uttarakhand recently that you visited. Now,
Plastic menace.
Plastic menace is one. But apart from that, I was in Uttarakhand as well this year as well, and what I noticed was the forest fires. And from what I understand, many of these forest fires, they're man-created because of the entire mafia that they have in terms of
timber mafia.
Timber mafia, which is there as well. Do you find that shocking?
I think it all comes down to our misplaced idea of well-being. तो पैसों के चक्कर में हम अपने आप को बर्बाद कर रहे हैं.
And we're not realizing what we're doing actually.
No, we're not. We really aren't. And this misplaced idea of honor, misplaced idea of power, misplaced idea of progress. कुदरत में actually सारी life lessons है. When you look to nature, you really learn. So one of the things I always tell children when we're doing workshops is that nature does not create geographical boundaries. Human beings do.
Absolutely.
So our identity has to be that we are first the citizens of this planet. And if our relationship, I always say, if there is one thing that can unify human beings, it's nature. If we discover and understand that we're all from nature, of nature, for nature, with nature, then we won't be wasting time debating, harangued, troubling, angering, wasting good resources and energy, human energy on such things.
Absolutely. Like GVL Narasimha would like us to believe that actors, they have less IQ, but I'm sure that he is not right. My question to you is that you said that around 7-8 years back you got into this entire journey of environment. What was the trigger point? Because you're an actress, you've been doing well, you've had some wonderful films, you've worked with some of the biggest stars and some wonderful songs that you've had. So what was the trigger point that really just drew you towards this thing and you got totally sucked into it?
I think it's a combination of many things. One is I was brought up in an environment where my relationship with nature was very, very closely fostered. My father, who was an industry designer amongst many things, I remember writing this in an article that I wrote many years ago, where I expressed how he was approached by this industry to design their factory, and he refused it, even though घर में पैसों की बहुत तंगी थी, and we needed the money. He refused that job because he discovered that that industry was spewing affluents into a nearby water body.
Okay.
It's a very important value system to inherit from your parents at a very early age, that their understanding that money is important but not at the price of nature. Also maybe because of the kind of schooling I went to, I was educated in the J. Krishnamurti system of education. तो हम पेड़ के नीचे बैठ के पढ़ाई करते थे. Nature was a very integral part of our learning process.
Okay.
Because nature inspires creativity. Hyderabad. And nature inspires creativity. And the J. Krishnamurti system of education says that if you do not experience creativity as a human being, you don't feel alive. And all innovation, all growth, all progress, all expression, all beauty emerges from the human intrinsic nature to create. And creativity does not cause destruction. It creates growth and evolution.
क्या बात है?
So it's that, and then I think when I became an actor and I started getting approached by many organizations to lend my voice to help them, I recognized that my voice could be an instrument of social change. And it was people like Shabana ji who encouraged me to use my voice. She said, देखो दिमाग है तुम्हारा, तुम सोचती हो चीज़ों के बारे में, उसका इस्तेमाल करो, do something about it. And I started feeling such a strong sense of well-being and happiness every time I could impact positive change, that I then said, hey, you know, this is an area that nobody is focusing on. We need to do more to celebrate our environmental heroes. We need to do more to improve the measures for conservation in India. We have to combat, you know, these wasteful ideas that are being introduced by the multinationals, because, you know, everybody wants you to consume more, and the more you consume, the more you waste.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And so much of that consumption is not necessarily environmentally friendly or natural. And I think when I started working with people like Bittu Sehgal, with Vivek Menon, who runs the Wildlife Trust of India, these are extraordinary human beings who've dedicated a lifetime in service of nature.
Absolutely.
You start then finding happy coincidences. And I swear, Faridun, I wish I could express to you in words how I have discovered my passion and my purpose and combined the two to use it through the medium that I know and I make a living from. That's how Ganga, the Soul of India, happened. That's how so much of this content that I'm creating is happening. And as you keep seeing what Bonfrey makes as well, you will keep discovering that all of it is so connected in its thought and its ethos and philosophy.
Right. Last two questions, Dia Mirza. You know, when we say Dia Mirza, and you've experienced that as well, the last name that you have, and when your intentions are questioned, and if you say something, then your integrity towards the nation is questioned as well. Whatever you're doing in terms of environment. How do you deal with it? Because we've discussed that in the past as well, and it's not an easy thing because it can be very, very disheartening at times as well. What keeps you going? What
it used to bother me in the beginning. Every time I was attacked, and I was my integrity was questioned, or I was asked to leave the country, or absurd things like that.
Right.
But now it doesn't bother me at all, because I think that these are not real people. Real people have a very unified, very healthy, very positive, very honest voice. These are people who are actually doing good work, who are actually making a difference. They're so consumed by making a positive change that they don't belittle themselves by engaging in such futile, ridiculous attacks on individuals. And you know, Faridun, what is baffling is that these attacks are not made just on people who have my surname or yours. these attacks are being made on everybody
Yeah.
who doesn't speak the language they want these
They want
people
to
to
listen.
speak.
Absolutely correct.
So
But we're the ones who were told to go to Pakistan.
yeah, but
Very easily.
then that's okay. I know a
Yeah.
lot of Hindus who are
Who
also
are-
asked to move
correct,
to Pakistan.
correct,
So
correct.
I think this, unfortunately, this this narrative is confined by a very closed-minded idea of something that these people think they're propagating, and it's a misplaced notion of well-being, and it's okay. They exist. They'll keep doing what they're doing. I hope eventually they see that there's no merit in it.
Yeah.
But I also recognize that every time I have said something that is positive and has positive intention, the ripple effect of that has been far more compelling. Because there are enough people who celebrate that, who endorse that, who support it. Then there are these individuals who negate it or discourage it or even ridicule it with these absurd notions that they bring forward.
Absolutely.
Hi, this is Mirza and you're watching Bollywood Hungama.